Based on the visuals and the premise alone, Child of Light doesn't seem like the type of game many would expect from a AAA developer like Ubisoft. Gorgeous, hand-painted side-scrolling visuals, fairy tale-esque yet captivating storyline set in a platforming role-playing game. Aurora, the daughter of the Duke of Austria, falls ill and wakes up one day in the kingdom of Lemuria. From Lemuria, Aurora can witness her father's grieving, but she cannot return to him in the normal world until she returns the sun, moon, and stars to their rightful places after being stolen by the Black Queen. To aid her in her quest, Aurora is accompanied by a firefly named Igniculus and a ragtag band of misfits from all the races and tribes of Lemuria, all of whom have been directly affected by the Black Queen's malevolence. Without spoiling much of the plot, and for such a short game there is a lot to spoil, we can easily say that the story is one of the Child of Light's high points. True to its fairy tale inspirational roots, it's a heartrending and melancholy experience, yet uplifting and inspirational at the same time. Set at the bargain price of $14.99, Child of Light will easily give players 10 hours of gameplay, but feels like a much larger RPG experience. Everything about it has been streamlined, sometimes to a fault. The story is concise, the characters are easily identifiable, the navigation and battles are simple as simple can be, but somehow both manage to feel engaging thanks to the gorgeous visuals and your trusty Firefly sidekick Igniculus. Igniculus can be used on screen to dig up secrets in the environment while moving through the world, and he can be used to slow down enemies or heal allies in real time during combat, which takes a lot of the waiting out of the turn-based action. Players mostly control a team of 2 allies of their choice against 2 or 3 enemies. At the end of each turn, players need to take an action, like physically attacking or casting a spell. If a character is attacked between casting and the execution of an action, their turn is cancelled and they move back on the timeline. So surgical use of Igniculus during combat becomes a necessity, especially during the tougher later fights or while casting more complicated spells. Better players will learn the fine art of timing their attacks to continually juggle enemies out of their turns. Characters gain experience from battle and can allocate skill points into skill trees of their choice. Sadly, there is no armor or weapon system in the game, so hunting for new and better gear is out of the question. But seasoned veterans of RPGs will find Child of Light to be on the easy side. We do recommend fans of the genre to start right off on hard mode, but those who enjoy the game will be happy to find Child of Light even has a New Game Plus mode. But because of its fantasy visuals, fairy tale storytelling, and ease of access, Child of Light makes a wonderful RPG for first-timers of all ages. Our biggest gripe with Child of Light is the sometimes unbalanced pacing of the game. The beginning and final thirds of the game had us glued to our seats, but somewhere in the middle we found ourselves getting a little restless. For an RPG that gets so many things right, it also gets a few core basics wrong, like the inability to rearrange your combat party or heal party members from the navigational menu. But aside from that, the skill trees are easy to understand and follow, and you can easily swap party members in battle without losing your turn in line. Though Child of Light's soundtrack by Beatrice Martin, Coeur de Pirate, is an orchestral arrangement, most of the tracks are melodies driven by piano and flute, but with heavy organ, glockenspiel, violin, and cello accents. It mostly eschews the standard cinematic blockbuster-style soundtrack that many video games have been overusing for the past few years, and leans more towards a lulling, intimate, and introspective song set. The soundtrack alone is worth the asking price of the game and worthy of your attention even when not playing Child of Light. Short, sweet, beautiful, yet sad and haunting, Child of Light is a fine game. We loved the visuals and storytelling, and though the gameplay is on the simpler side, it's still good enough to keep RPG gamers fully engaged. It's the type of game we want to encourage to see more of from big-name publishers. It has a few shortcomings, but for such a concise and affordable experience, it's hard to judge those foibles too harshly.